I'll just try to maybe it'll. Sometimes I wonder why lighting is just not reached the right way. Something like that. There we go. Maybe that's better. Not sure. We'll figure it out. Hi guys. Sorry, I'm squinting. Hold on. Toe pick. Oops. There. I can see some people now. Hi, Petey. Hi, guys. She's waving. Just waiting for a couple people to come on. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to see. Hi, Virginia. Hey, baby girl. Love my baby girls coming on. I'm wearing my thermal. I was cold today. So just waiting for a couple more people to come on. I'll take my reading glasses off shortly. I am not really feeling too fantastic today. I don't know why. Maybe I ate something crazy because my stomach is doing some somersaults today. Not sure why, but just like, let's see if we could do that way or this way. I'm not sure, but anyway. Anyway, hi. I think I knew most of the people that came on, but I'll introduce myself anyway. My name is Lynn Cicero. It's funny because when I did the 5K walk, the one girl who's been in one of my bariatric support meetings, she goes, I've been intrigued with your last name. I guess she studies a lot of Latin and Greek and philosophers, Greek philosophers and Roman philosophers and so forth. So she has very versed on the famous Marcus Tullius Cicero. And she was asking me about it, and I was like, we were talking about it a little bit. I said, you'd be surprised how many English teachers slaughtered my last name. I said, and still slaughter my name. She goes, really? And I go, yeah, they slaughter it all the time. So it was kind of cool that I got to talk to somebody who knew something about the great Cicero, the orator. And I said, a lot of people don't realize that the line that Kennedy had said, it's not what your country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country, was actually very similar. And I guess there's some dispute that it may not even be Cicero's, but he had said it back in, I think it's like 110 BC or so. It's very interesting. I'm not here to teach you about the great Roman Empire and Mark Antony and Caesar and Cicero and all those good people, but I did find it intriguing that you can that there's people that are expanding many different aspects of their life and continue to do so, and a lot of times they put their health on the back burner because they're addressing other things in their life, but all for naught. So tonight's topic, hi guys, is, I'm gonna wait for a couple more people, but tonight's topic is about regrets. Like, what do I regret? Do I have any regrets? Do I have some regrets in terms of bariatric surgery? And it's a question that during the whole process, pre-bariatric surgery, I feel like I should say BB, like before bariatric surgery, or AB after bariatric surgery, so anyway, BB before bariatric surgery, I asked a lot of questions in terms of at these support groups and at these pep rallies, did anyone have any regrets? And the one common regret was that they had not done this sooner. Was probably the biggest regret of it all. So that is the question, is if people have regrets. Also, when you go on some of the other sites, there's a lot of bariatric sites out there named for, there's Bariatric. There's some huge sites with thousands and thousands of people on them. And some people talk about their short-sighted regret. Like sometimes shortly after surgery, primarily when you first get sick because you ate something that may not have been as moist as it should have been. I have to get some water. So there will be some people who have regrets for maybe like a day, 2 days, maybe even a week. Like, oh my God, what did I do? I altered my stomach. I changed, I unplumbed some area and whatnot, and then that quickly subsides. It's just one of those, I'd say it's a safety factor. It's just like a safety factor. And I think I had the shortest brevity of regret, which lasted about a matter of 10 minutes, not even, where you get that moment. People get the hesitation before the surgery, and then after the surgery, they may have a split second of regret, and some people have no regrets whatsoever. I think my regret lasted maybe 5-10 minutes. Actually, when I think about it, I'm not even sure it was 10 minutes. It was probably like 5 minutes. Some people love food so much that now their mind wants it, their fat brain wants it, but their body can't take it. Like you can't eat like a whole pie of pizza because they'll just get sick. So those people probably experience some regrets. My only regret is I wish that I wasn't as closed-minded, that I wish I wasn't such a big scaredy cat into going to the first bariatric informational. I wish that I would have got off my duff and went sooner. I wish that I didn't waste maybe the last few years trying to do it different ways. I mean, I know you have to go through all that, but I could have shortened up. Wait, I gotta see this. Hope he just came on. Let's see. I never get to feel everything happens when hell. Love you, my Linny. I love you more. I love you more, my Hope. Love you, my Linny girl. I love you, my Hope. Hope, you were rocking it on the skateboard. And I'm thinking, even as the topic tonight of regrets, I was thinking, wow, how many of those things, I could have done maybe. See, I think you're right, though it comes in time when you're ready to go and do it. But then there's that period of time where you're a scaredy cat, and maybe you could have done it a year or two earlier. I think that's what I wish. I wish I wasn't as closed-minded about the process, thinking that it was the easy way out. I'm guilty of it. And there's still people who might even be watching me now thinking it's the easy way out, when in fact it isn't the easy way out. And for those of you who are skinny or don't have a pound or an ounce to lose, but you have a loved one in your family, and you think it's the easy way out, I'm hoping I can re-educate some of you on that. So that would be really, really nice. And even if you're slightly intrigued and maybe you're on the fluffier side, maybe you won't be a scaredy cat, because actually it's a very friendly community where the support is amazing. Amazing. Let me say that again. Amazing. The support is amazing, and it isn't a bunch of people ready to pounce on you and try to get you to sign up and, fleece you of all your money. And I think a lot of people aren't familiar with their insurance if they would have to pay this all out of pocket. And the answer is that if you have insurance, to check, right? To call them and check. Usually the bariatrics will give you the CPT codes, which are the 5-digit, they're typically 5 numeric numbers. 5 numeric numbers, and you can call your insurance. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I worked for insurance. Hold on one second. No, it's definitely not the easy way out. And nobody ever really understands that until either maybe you live with somebody and you're holding someone's hair back when they're the bowl, or you see them going out, or you see them frustrated with the scale, they still have to do all the same things that a dieter has to do. You still go to the gym, right? You still go to the gym. You still have to tone your muscles. You still have to, just having the surgery doesn't make it magically. And there are some people who have the surgery and go back to their bad habits and continue to gain weight. I'm sure, and I think that's another reason why some people don't say that they had it, because if they say that they had it and they failed, they look like a even worse failure. So it's just a tool. It's no different than, well, it is different. It's totally different in the fact that it's kind of like, I should call it your bariatric buddy, because it's almost like you have somebody attached to your hip telling you, no, you know, they're with you when you're anywhere. They're with you in the car when you're driving by yourself. So you're not going to go through the fast food and order a fry that has 15 to 1,800 calories in it. They're with you, you know, all the time when you're sleeping, and you have a, you know, you have a Snickers candy bar in your drawer. So they're with you all the time. So if you cheat, it sees you. So your bariatric surgery is kind of like your new best friend that's kind of with you all the time, that watches everything. And if you do it anyway, your body has a way to say at first, no. But if you keep pushing the issue, your bariatric friend just kind of gives in. And so your stomach may grow back. It expand back and things like that. So you can get by, or you can get by with slider foods that are high in calorie that just kind of slick down the throat. I mean, it's easy. I could go get, I don't know, a bag of chips and just keep chewing and making them all crunchy down small, etc. And I could do all of that. So it's not the easy way out. But also the bariatric community is amazing. Like the minute like I told you all in an earlier episode, is that when I was off last June for a week, my plan was to go to a bariatric seminar. But then I was afraid it was going to end up like one of those real estate or a timeshare where, you know, people want to timeshare your body and get you to sign up straight away. And I didn't go. And in a way, it was a blessing I didn't go to that one, because the following week when I went back to work, I found another one and I stopped. And I went apprehensively with butterflies in my stomach, and I was scared, and I was going by myself. I didn't want anybody to know I was going to go, because I didn't want someone pushing, and I didn't want someone stopping me. I just wanted to collect information. So not knowing anybody there, or knowing anybody who went through the program, because at the time I didn't know who went where and what. So I went, and it was pretty damn amazing. The questions, the answers, the love, the empathy, the sympathy, it was all fantastic. And no one pressured me. There was people in the back of the room. You couldn't ask specific medical questions pertaining to yourself. You can ask a broad general thing, because those questions would be answered at an initial meetup. So immediately I ran to the back of the room and signed up straight away. It was there wasn't a doubt in my mind at that. And then, like anybody knows anything about me, I am a total dork. Meaning that I will go and immerse myself in the world of bariatrics and learn every stinking possible thing, and ask people questions, and read, and load my Kindle up, and Google the internet, and find the Facebook groups, lurk and launch and everything else like that. I will do it all. And I will compile to make an educated decision if I was going to proceed with it. And I definitely was. So one of the first things they do is they give you some CPT codes for some procedures. Basically the two main ones, which is the sexy sleeve and the gold standard RNY, which is the on a whole the higher results. Not saying people with sleeves can't get the same results, because they can. But right now, currently, there's more sleeves than R&Ys done, whereas years ago it was more R&Ys than sleeves. And prior to that was the lap bands, which very few people are doing the lap bands anymore because they slip. You know, they're constantly having to readjust. They don't have the same high success rates, right? So those are the things. So you get a CPT code, you call your insurance company and say, hey, listen, is this cover if quote unquote medically necessary, meaning that you would meet the qualifications, and they would tell you yes or no. The thing is that funny is I knew the answer was yes, because somebody also where I worked was having it done, and we had the same insurance, and basically I knew it was covered. But the person on the other end told me no. Hi, Mike. The other person on the other end told me no. And that person who told me no didn't know how to read their benefits. So I waited a day and I went on the chat, and then I asked the same question, and the person told me yes. And they saw that someone told me no. So even though your insurance, somebody on the other end, and we all work with somebody who doesn't do their job very well, and knowing in insurance that reading benefits is not as easy and as cut and dry, because it sounds all very technical and you know, lawyer-esque, etc. That you you know, you think you understand it, and you dispel, you give out bad information. And so therefore don't take no for your first answer. And that even goes in line with things that are going to come up later on, like plastics, etc. Sometimes you need a different person. Hi. You need a different person to do that. So if anybody is interested or intimidated or feeling anxious, either A, go by yourself. Nobody needs to know. Go by yourself. If you have to, put on a wig and go and collect your information. That way, don't be apprehensive. Don't be scared. Find bariatric excellence, and then dispel all your things. Even now, I have a list of Facebook groups that you can actually lurk in, and you can watch and listen. And what's really motivating about them, I don't know, because a lot of you aren't in any of these groups. Some of you might be, but most of you aren't. But these groups will show you befores, durings, and afters. They do like Face Fridays. There's people who have no comprehension of what they look like or what looks good on them in clothing, and they have a wedding to go to. They'll go to the store, and then they'll pick out 3 dresses or 3 suits and say, which one do I look better in? People will experience different things in their body, like they're like, oh, I can only, you know, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. What's the best premier protein shake? They put everything out there. But you do have to realize that each bariatric program is slightly different than the next, where some will have you move on to soft foods sooner than others, etc. So there's no two alike. So you really want to do your homework on the facility or the physician that you're choosing. You really want someone who specializes in bariatrics. And as far as that's the other thing you can experience by being on some of the Facebook groups, is to hear about the regrets and the setbacks, and when someone actually goes and cheats, goes to the wedding and has a piece of cake, or pick their son or daughter's Halloween candy, and you realize that you too are human, and that the world, that people are not perfect, but you also get to learn so much about everything, and you can feel the love and the reassurances where people are trying to get you back in the saddle again, or, you know, trying to educate you. I mean, it is a very enchanting world. There's really no shame about it. The physician has seen a fat person before. He doesn't chastise you. She doesn't chastise you. They don't make you feel small. They uplift you, they understand you, they empathize with you, they're kind to you, and they should be, and if they're not, then they probably shouldn't be in this business, because it is a very emotional, decision. You have to go in with facts, but you also have to go in on emotion, and you have to feel it. And a lot of people get nervous and they want to back out. So it's important to have a good support group with friends and family, but that also goes with doctors. I know that there's some doctors out there that if they don't feel their patient is losing enough, they make them feel small because they now become a statistic. And you have to realize that this is not a race, it's a marathon. I believe that's what they always say anyway, right? So, hugs to all of them. As for me, I told you last night that yesterday I hit my one goal, and my Bariatric app gives me another goal. So I think I have, well, we were talking about it at work because I have that little check-off list of how much more weight I want to lose, although people think I'm a little crazy because they think, where will I be? I'll be like gone. I said, no. I said, if anything, a Cicero holds their weight well. I mean, I'm sure you, it's funny because when you see weight, it is truly funny because you see people and you think they weigh this much and then you find out they weigh this much. So it is kind of hard. Just like your food, you shouldn't eyeball it. Many times with your body, you shouldn't eyeball it either. Yeah, you can, and yeah, you should, but maybe you should try to get close to the weight that it suggests on the scale. So I don't know. How many of you out there have a goal, right? Do you have a goal weight or a happy weight? Okay, so when I hit this milestone that I wanted to hit, I did, if I wasn't feeling a little under the weather, I'd be doing a happy dance right now for you. But I promise you a happy dance because even this morning, I didn't expect to see the scale move yet again. I was down 0.8 of a point. It was so great. It was, I mean, 0.8 of a pound. So, right? 0.8 of a pound. And you know what? I think it was even down more than that. But I had to go to work. So today I am, for the first time in my life, I'm wearing jeggings. What the hell are jeggings? Jeggings is a marriage of two words, jeans and leggings. Although I don't think these really are jeggings. I thought they were more like skinny jeans because they taper. And I don't usually wear like a tapered jean. Usually my jeans are boot cut. I have a thing. I have a thing for American Eagle jeans. I like the boyfriend jean, definitely, and the artist flare, and I like a straight leg. So for me to actually wear a jeggings or a skinny jean is bizarre to me. So my sister gave me these, my sister Christine. But I call her Chrissy. You all can't, but her name is Chrissy. And she was like, she's less than me, but I'm gaining on her, which at first I think she was feeling a little uncomfortable with. Now I think she's loving the challenge. So she gave me these, and I put them on today. And I needed to wear a belt, so I wasn't really happy about that. Because I really am not a belt person. Not at all, really. I sit there and go, oh, I gotta put the belt on. I gotta fit the belt through the hole. So I really am not a belt person. Great places to get belts and accessories because belts are expensive. So I got to Style Encore, that secondhand fancy dance shop, and picked myself up 2 belts. And now I can fit into my old thinner belts, like normal people size belts. So I'm really happy about that. That's fantastic. But the scale moved that extra 0.8 of a point, and it was amazing to see that, especially since I just kind of woke up and I didn't get to go powder my nose really. It was fantastic. So like I said to you in the little clip, is I'll blow out these texts out there. I'll blow out these texts where I just change the the weights, the weight on there, and I send them out to all my people, my support group, so they can still hold me accountable. And like I said, it'll say how many pounds I lost before my liver shrank, and then it'll say lost 8.5 pounds during my 2-week liver shrink, and lost this much weight after my surgery, and I've lost this much altogether, and I have this much more to go. So it's great because it's a way for me to communicate with everybody. It's almost like this breaking news. Maybe that's what I should title it. Breaking news. And as I go on, people cheer me on. Because sometimes, you know, everybody asks you every single time that they see you, they say, how much did you lose? How much did you lose? Where are you at now? And you don't remember who you told, who you didn't tell. And so it's just easier if you have people in your phone just to copy and paste and go boom, 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 boom. It'll save you a big headache. That's why I do it. And I don't want to exclude anybody. I don't want everybody to know my weight. I mean, we're not at a carnival here where people are guessing my weight and I have to get on a scale in front of people. Everybody doesn't need to know. But people have been cheering you on, or people who are important to your process and to your development and to your losing the weight. You definitely want to keep them in a loop because it actually helps them. I was thinking about this. It helps them live through you. It really does. They feel part of the process instead of sometimes people don't. I think that's very key. Some people know that you did something, and some people actually figure out that you've had weight loss surgery. And I understand. Trust me, I get it, not telling the whole world before. But afterwards, even when you just normally diet, they tell you to tell people so they can hold you accountable. So, you know, if they see you with a Twinkie in the hand, they can smack it. No, not that rough. But as you tell people, they become part of the process. They're not an outsider looking in. And everybody wants to be with a winner. And in this case, everybody wants to be with a loser, someone who's losing weight. And so they can be part of it, and they can share in it. And they can say, you know, I've been there for you, and which they have. So I like sending out those bulletins. Whether they respond or not is moot. It doesn't matter whether or not they automatically respond, because eventually they do respond. They may not respond every time, but they will respond to it. Or even if you post a picture of yourself on Facebook, or you include them, you might be a little shy on saying your very scary weight. I had a friend that was going to the office today. Christine, you are amazing. You are amazing. You really are. You have this tenacity. Your name should be Chris Tenacity, because you took the ball running, and you didn't let the voices, and you were like an open book where you can like just tell you something and you would trust it, and you would go with it. And I try to give the ugly too. I mean, the positive is so much more than the negative in my case. But you weren't judgmental. You were there for me. And if I can reciprocate to anybody or bounce anything back, that's what I want to do. You were there for me the whole way. You didn't poo-poo me. You didn't make me feel small or stupid and why can't I do it the other way? Because I think you've seen me do every other way. And the closest I got to going back was the HCG. And like I said, I've been thin before. I know you've been thin before. I've seen your pictures before. And going through life and gaining 10, and then, losing 10, and then gaining 20, and then losing 20, and then gaining 30. Your body, again, picks that homeostasis point where it's always trying to get back to your last highest weight, because it's in survival mode. It doesn't really read, I'm not going to look good in pictures, or I'm going to feel sluggish. It just says, I need this because, I'm sluggish and I have to fuel the body. So what ends up happening is that more and more doors close as you get there, and yeah, I probably could have starved myself, but then would I have went back? I need something to go long marathon, not just a short distance and then just get back on. So you've always been there for me. You've always, and that's the other thing. There's some girls out there that don't like to give compliments, but Christine, my Maserati Mazzola, is always wonderful in giving compliments, and that really fuels the fire. So I'm always going to be there, whether you're doing it without bariatric surgery or you're doing it with bariatric surgery or you're doing something different. I want to be there just to kind of cheer people on. I really believe that we should be building each other always up, and not tearing each other down. I really do. Although I'm not a chump either. I mean, if you're going to treat me badly, I'm not going to go out of my way to say, hey, you're gorgeous. That I don't roll that way either. I'm not a sucker. So like I said, when it comes to regrets, I think I told Mazzola that I had about 5 to 10 minutes of an actual regretful moment, and it was when I got sick from having some, that baked ricotta thing that I got sick on that, I think one time really bad, and one time I started to feel sick, and I just said, well, I'm not going to do this. I think it was the Italian in me not buying the whole, this is real authentic Italian food. So when it comes to regret, some people will have a little bit of regret, and those big foodie people who really, really love food, and food became the center of their life, they may experience regret a little bit more. That's why it's important to talk to the psychologists, the counselors, the psychologists that they have, because it gets your mind in the right place. They assess where you're at when it comes to things, and then later on, when people are, maybe they're slipping a little bit and gaining some of their weight back, they'll send you back to talk to the dietitian and or the psychologist to get your mind right. And actually, when you actually watch 600 Pound Life, they've been incorporating a lot of some psychology. I've actually thought about actually doing some of the free psychology. I've never been to a psychologist, just to help me with transitioning, because again, I still have a little bit of the body dysmorphia, even though I've seen myself thin before. The amount of weight I'm losing right now happens a little bit faster than my mind does. And maybe something to help me cope with some of the people that are vacating my immediate time because they're feeling a little bit insecure with themselves. So they're avoiding me. You know, they don't want to come, they don't want to, whatever reason, they're just avoiding me. And that's probably the sad thing. I don't know if I want to say regret, but definitely something they talk about in support groups and in the meeting groups, and just people talking amongst each other. It is something that seriously does happen. I didn't think it does happen, but it really does happen. And sometimes you'll get a passive-aggressive comment, where it seems like a backhanded compliment, and it's going to come. And I know you're sitting there right now saying, no, it'll never happen. Trust me, it will happen. Somebody, somewhere, sometime will. But on another token is a lot more doors open for you too. Things that maybe not been able to happen in your life now can happen in your life. People will look at you differently, but I don't really, if it's some guy who just wants to get in your pants, or some girl who wants to get in your pants, then that's not cool. But you don't want people to only be a fair weather friend or a, hey, you look good friend. You don't want any of that. So as terms of regrets, no, I don't have any regrets yet, and I am 5.5 months out. It'll be 6 months out on the 19th. Well, technically the 20th if you count the day after surgery. It'll be approximately 6 months out at that time. By the time I do the hoop demo, it'll be 6 months at that point. And in factoring, I will definitely hit my goal before the year mark. So I'm definitely on that. Now, you do have to realize that some people think you lose weight really rapidly. And for some, they will initially when they start. And depending on the size you are now, like if you're 600 pounds, of course, you're going to probably lose somewhere between 30 to 50 the first month, give or take. But the smaller you get, your weight loss is even slower. And I think that's the hard part, because when you do lurk in the bariatric Facebook groups, you will see people losing momentous amounts of weight, and you have a constant, predisposition, or, that you want to measure your success with somebody else's success. And you really need to sit back and just measure your success to your own success. You can only measure it yourself, because you can't compete with somebody. I mean, you can hypothetically, but you can't be hard on yourself. Because everybody loses at their own rate. Their bodies react differently. That is a perfect reason why to understand that diets don't work the same for everybody. You can put two people together, they could sleep, eat exactly the same and everything, and they'll get different results. It's not going to be the same results for anything. So that's kind of where we're at with that respect. And today I'm just a bit tired, and I was going to clean the fridge, and no, I didn't. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. And I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell, something like that. So as far as, I did want to talk about one other thing. I'm not gonna, it's kind of sad because I thought I wanted to talk about something else, but I maybe necessarily don't want to. I did have shrimp tonight, go figure. And I had some lemon cake, Halo Top ice cream. That was delicious. But I wasn't feeling it. So you need to drink a lot of water, guys. Trying to get some of my bariatric friends to drink more water, that the further they are out. It really helps transport the fat out. It also it actually it tells the body you're not starving, and you're not being starved to death. Because I think by drinking more water, your body says, oh, okay, they're not starving me out. I feel something in my body, and I'm not going to conserve everything. So it lets go. Lets go of the fat, moves it along, throws it in the river, and then, of course, you go powder your nose, and it's out. So anyway, that's kind of where that is at. I'm kind of a little bit of a squirrel today in my thought process, because I really am tired. I think I'm not even going to take a shower tonight. I think I'm just going to put on my shorts and my shirt. I'm going to crawl into bed, and I'm going to actually just go to bed and listen to whatever's on my Amazon Music that's coming through my Fire Stick. So, again, anybody at all have any questions whatsoever in terms of, today I was looking a little bit more to find my vape information, and I haven't yet come on to it. So Debbie Griffin, just hang on. I did not forget about you. And then Mrs. Connie Hilburn, I have a paleo book for you, but you're going to have to send me your address. Or if you're watching this, if you send me her address, that would be fantastic, because she was asking some information in regards to that. If anybody else has any requests or topics, I know I was talking about titles for a Facebook page. I was going to do something along the lines of Lynn Cicero, bariatric patient weight loss diary, something to that effect. If anybody could think of something to give it a little bit more brevity or a spin, it can't be cutesy, because this will be easier for people to find. My topics, or the titles of my topics, can be cutesy, like Lynn giving you lip, like Lynn in progress, you know, that kind of thing I will do on that specific page. This way you can just come in and check in, and I'll have some of that information on there, and you can go in there and you can steal that information and not actually have to ask me. So you can private message me, you can call me, you can text me. I do get back. I have some people who have texted me and PM'd me, and I do get back to them. Unless you're disgusting and pervy and trying to do something nefarious, then of course I'm not going to answer. And if you have anybody who's thinking of it, or you're not on my friend list and you want to be my friend, just friend request me, but you may want to send me a message telling me that you see me in a bariatric podcast or Facebook Live, and that you wanted to follow me, and so that you wanted to friend request me is fantastic as well. So I'm having a bit of a bad hair day. I'm not really worried about it too much. I didn't really do a whole hell of a lot. I was going for the Z's today. Z's. So I am going to curl up, and if you have any questions, please reach out and hit me on the head and ask away. In the future, I will eventually give you... see, I just got a message. I won't see, and I won't even say who it is, but the message says they love watching my videos, and I appreciate that. That's the kind of thing that I like to hear. Even if you want to just give me a comment or a compliment or a condemnation, go for it. I'm a big girl shrinking. I'm a big girl shrinking. Well, that could be a good title of an article too. Big girl shrinking. I'm a big girl, but I'm shrinking. I like that. Anyway, I love you guys, and we're gonna call it a little bit early. What time is it, guys? Anybody have an idea? 9:43. So we did about a half an hour, a little over half an hour almost. Which is pretty good. Get your water in. Awesome. Anyway, so take it with you. The only regret I have is that I didn't do it sooner. I lost years of doing some fun things and having a better quality of life. So if you're on the fence and you have any questions, please don't let a minute go by and waste if you're not going to ask. And if you have somebody, you're just doing research for somebody else, please just have them reach out. I'm not going to I don't charge. It's just a totally free, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a bariatric patient myself. All right, guys? So, bye. I love you, buonanotte. And Chris, if you're still watching, I can't wait to see you. You'll probably be super, well, you always are super gorgeous. You're like, Anyway, love yous guys.